What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about a blueprint for the XM4 that actually has different damage profile, different damage values than the standard XM4. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I'm going to start off right at the start by saying it's not OP. It's just different and it's weird, and we'll talk more about that obviously as we get into details. But as always, if you guys like the content, like the website, consider subscribing, consider dropping a like and a comment. Helps support the channel, helps support the website, and helps us keep doing what we're doing and keep the website live. So appreciate you guys as always. Let's jump into it and we'll talk about this blueprint. All right, so before we jump into this, I want to give credit to the guys that told me about this. Yomun20 and Alex Panu. These guys tested this themselves and messaged me, and they wanted me to let people know about it. So it's pretty cool. Yomun20 said he has TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter all under that same name. So check him out if you want to support him for letting everybody know about this. But anyway, so the XM4, I have 4 blueprints for it. I tested all of these to make sure that they weren't all weird, but the only one that's different is the Blue Tracer Great Pacific blueprint. So interestingly, this basically has the exact same stats as the Modern Warfare M4. So it does less damage, but it has higher fire rate. And we'll go through the TTK charts and show you what that means. And I'm assuming what happened was they developed this early on and they copy pasted the Modern Warfare M4 stats and then like forgot to change the blueprint. But it just brings up an interesting question, like how many blueprints out there have weird stats? We've had this before. We had the EBR blueprint that one shot to the head. We had the Mac 10 blueprint that had ridiculous damage values. So it's kind of scary, and it's really hard because there's like almost no chance we could test all the blueprints. Maybe eventually if they stop adding and changing stuff, we could get to that. But who knows? I mean, who knows what blueprints have different damage values, different ranges, different fire rates. Like we've never seen a different fire rate before, but this literally has like a 20% faster fire rate than the regular XM4. So let's look at the stats real fast and talk about what this means for the gun and when you might actually want to use this blueprint specifically. Because there are some situations where I think you might want the M4 stats over the XM4 stats. So when they first told me about this, they told me that it just had a faster fire rate, but I wanted to make sure that the damage profile wasn't different, and I'm glad I did, because it would have completely changed the video, obviously, if I said it had the same damage profile, but really it had the different damage profile. So on the left here we have the M4 Modern Warfare M4 fire rate and damage values. So 42, 28, 28, 28, and 810 RPM. XM4 shoots about, I don't know, 20% slower, 10% slower, down at 721 RPM. It does 48, 32, 32, 32. And the damage drop off for the XM4 is at 22, but the M4 is at 29. And then second damage drop off, the XM4 does quite a bit more damage. So XM4 does 42, 28, 28, 28 after the 22 meters. And then the M4 does 33, 22 to the rest of the body. So if we look at what this means on the TTK charts, they have extremely similar TTKs. So the orange is the Modern Warfare M4 and the pink is the XM4. So they're almost the same TTK. The XM4 is 10 milliseconds faster out to that 22 meter drop off, but the M4 has an extra 10 meters or so of range. I guess it's like 7 meters out to 29 meters. And then out at the longer damage drop off, the XM4 has quite a bit better TTK. So in my opinion, I would consider using this variant of the XM4 with the faster fire rate and the lower damage values for like an SMG build, just to get that extra range. 22 meters, I would say most of your engagements with an SMG are going to be inside 30, but there will be some that are more than 22. So I think having that little bit of extra range might be worth using the blueprint, and the faster fire rate means you're going to be flinching them a little bit more. So I still think the XM4 is pretty much the best FFAR replacement. Nothing is going to be as good as the FFAR was. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you're trying to build something in the same slot as where you used to use the FFAR, I think the XM4 might be the new best option. Like I said in my video about a week ago. And I think this variant might actually be better just because it has a little bit more range. Something else I want to mention real fast. It also seems that the Great Pacific blueprint has a little bit more recoil. So again, it's not pay to win. I don't know. Who knows if it's on purpose or not, but So I'll fire 3 recoil patterns here with the Great Pacific Blueprint at 10 meters exactly. Then we'll do the same with a stock XM4. And you see the Great Pacific Blueprint has quite a bit more recoil. It's a little more smooth though. It doesn't jump around as much as the stock XM4. It's just weird. I have no idea. I think it's worth messing with though. Higher fire rate, more recoil, a little bit more range. Very, very similar TTK inside that first damage drop off. So just something to mess with, something to try out, see if you like it more. Like I said, it'll flinch your enemy more than the standard XM4, which is good. Yeah, not much else to say. So something else I wanted to mention real fast that's actually different about this blueprint as well. The iron sights, it's like the distance the gun is from your face is a little bit different when you ADS with the irons. So when I ADS with the Pacific Blueprint, you can see it's pretty zoomed out, like you're pretty far from the gun. But when you use the normal XM4, so basically the difference is you have a wider aperture there where you can see around your target, but you have worse peripheral vision. So it's kind of a trade-off. I wouldn't say that the irons are like way better on this variant or anything. I don't really like either one of them, to be honest. I'm going to use an optic on this, but it's just interesting that they're different. I don't know why this would be, but they're just different and it's strange. All right, so just quickly, I wanted to highlight another really good XM4 build using this blueprint. So this is I don't like the iron sights, like I said, so I use Microflex LED, regular suppressor. This is slightly different than the build in my other video, but it's another amazing build. Regular suppressor, task force barrel. The task force barrel basically increases your damage range and your bullet velocity and your strafe speed, but hurts your recoil a little bit. That basically cancels out the negatives of the suppressor. So that basically gives you more strafe speed and a silenced weapon without any downsides, because the regular suppressor doesn't actually hurt your ADS times at all, which is why we're using that instead of the agency, because you need good ADS times up close. Then we got the Stanag 60 round mag. Obviously, we're not using the fast mag for ADS reasons. We want 60 bullets. And then Raider Pad, of course, sprint to fire to make it more like an SMG, and gives you that ridiculous firing movement speed while you're ADS. And you can see this is basically like the old FFAR was. I mean, you just take off when you pull the trigger. It's crazy, and it's actually really accurate too. The blue tracers are a little bit distracting, and for some reason they have like a muzzle flash that's very prominent as well. But this build's going to get you a little more range, like I said, than the regular XM4, which is nice. Gives you that extra 7 meters of drop off over the standard XM4 using this blueprint. And I think in a lot of situations with an SMG, that'll be really nice. So it's not OP, it's just different. I think it's probably a mistake. I think they probably just forgot to change the values to the actual XM4 values, because I checked, like I said, I checked all the other blueprints and they're all the same as the XM4. And I think if they were trying to make it like pay to win, then they would have left the XM4 damage values with the Modern Warfare M4 fire rate, because that would have made it just massively OP. 10% faster fire rate with the same damage values would have been like 10% better TTK. So thankfully, it's balanced. I think they'll fix it. I think it's a mistake, but just something interesting I wanted to cover. And I appreciate the guys for reaching out to me and letting me know about this so I could inform everyone about it. All right, well, that's everything I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to bring to light this blueprint and how it's kind of unique and has those strange Modern Warfare damage values. Who knows how many blueprints are like this that have weird different damage profiles and different damage values. It's like I said, we don't have time to test it all right now, but maybe someday we'll be able to. But as always, appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.